Nintendo isn't making the Ocarina of Time remake for Gen Z. They're making it for the 35-year-old guy who just finished mowing the lawn, cracked open a sugar-free energy drink, and still calls Breath of the Wild the new Zelda. You know exactly who I'm talking about, the Zelda boomer. No, not the actual boomers. The people who played Ocarina of Time in 1998 and have still spent the last 28 years explaining why it's the greatest game ever made. These are the same people who hear the Lost Woods theme and immediately develop lower back pain. They don't want weapon durability, they don't want crafting, they don't want to cook 17 mushrooms to gain mild resistance to humidity. They want a dungeon, with a map, with a compass, a boss key, just like Hylia intended. The Zelda boomer doesn't want an open world. He wants to know exactly where to go. He's got a mortgage, a kid, maybe an IT job. He doesn't have 80 hours to wander around looking for the Korok seeds. Every Nintendo Direct is the same. The Zelda boomer sits there quietly, not asking for much, just waiting, watching, and praying. And then Nintendo announces another open-world Zelda. That's why the Ocarina of Time remake prints money. Because Nintendo isn't selling a game, they're selling emotional support. They're selling a chance to be 12 years old again. Back when your biggest problem was figuring out the water temple and not your 401k. So yes, the Ocarina of Time remake is absolutely for Zelda boomers. And judging by how many people are asking for it, there's a lot more Zelda boomers than Nintendo thinks. Modern Zelda fans hear this and say, you just don't like freedom. Wrong. A Zelda boomer loves freedom. He just doesn't want to accidentally spend 45 minutes climbing a mountain because he got distracted by a shiny mushroom. And let's be honest, the wild era has lasted so long that some Zelda fans are starting to develop Stockholm Syndrome. Nintendo could release the Breath of the Wild cart, and half the internet would say, the vehicle building mechanics are revolutionary. Meanwhile, the Zelda boomer is sitting in the corner holding a copy of Ocarina of Time like it's a family heirloom, saying, can I just have the Forest Temple in 4K? The Zelda boomer misses progression. Remember progression? You couldn't just walk into the final area on day one, you had to earn it. Every dungeon felt like promotion. Every item permanently changed the game. You got the hookshot and suddenly the world opened up. You got the bow and became Fantasy Hawkeye. You got the lens of truth and realized Nintendo had been lying to you the whole time. And don't get me started on the bosses. Modern Zelda bosses, yeah, they're fun, but Ocarina bosses, they're legendary. The Zelda boomer still remembers the first time he saw Goma, King Dodongo, Phantom Ganon, Twinrova, Bongo Bongo. Half these names sound made up, and yet every Zelda fan instantly knows what they are. And then there's the soundtrack. Dear Lord, the soundtrack was good. You could play 3 notes from almost any Ocarina of Time song and millions of people would know it immediately. That's not nostalgia, that's wizardry. The Zelda boomer doesn't actually want a remake because he thinks Ocarina of Time is perfect. He wants a remake because he wants the younger fans to finally understand. He wants them to walk into the Forest Temple, hear that music, see those twisted hallways, and realize, oh, this is why old people never shut up about this game. And let's be fair, Nintendo would make an absurd amount of money, which they will. Because this isn't just a remake, this is a reunion. A reunion with a game that taught an entire generation what Zelda was supposed to feel like. So yes, the Ocarina of Time is absolutely for Zelda boomers. For the people who still think traditional dungeons are the king. For the people who believe that items should matter. For the people suffering from that wild era fatigue. For the people who still remember exactly where they were the first time they pulled out the Master Sword. So when this game finally releases, there will be millions of grown adults pretending they aren't emotional, while wiping away a tear and saying, it's dangerous to go alone, take my $70. And here's the thing nobody wants to admit, the Zelda boomer has actually tried to move on. He bought Breath of the Wild, he loved it, bought Tears of the King, and loved that too, to some extent. Spent hundreds of hours in both those games. But every single time he finishes one, he ends up saying the exact same thing. That was amazing, now where's Ocarina? Because deep down, Zelda boomers aren't chasing nostalgia, they're chasing a feeling. A feeling Nintendo accidentally created in the late 90s and has spent the last 28 years trying to recreate. Think about it. The opening of Ocarina of Time is basically perfect. You start as a nobody, a weird kid in a tree village. Everybody thinks you're kind of a loser, even your fairy showed up late. And by the end of the game, you're fighting evil incarnate and time traveling between 2 eras. That's not a character arc, that's a motivational seminar. The Zelda boomer misses when Zelda felt like an adventure instead of a survival simulator. Back when your biggest concern was, how do I get into this dungeon? Now your biggest concern is, my sword exploded while I was fighting in a tree. And don't get me started on weapon durability. The second weapon durability comes up, every Zelda boomer turns into a Civil War veteran. Another thing Nintendo doesn't understand, the Zelda boomer misses mystery. Not mystery in the internet sense, real mystery, 1998 mystery. The kind where nobody knew anything, before the internet, before guides, before YouTube walkthroughs, before TikTok explaining every secret before launch. You heard rumors at school and that's it. The Zelda boomer remembers spending weeks trying absolute nonsense, bombing random walls, playing songs in weird places, rolling into every tree in Hyrule, because maybe, just maybe, that one rumor they heard at lunch was true. And then there's the Water Temple, the most misunderstood dungeon in Zelda history. The Zelda boomer has spent decades defending it, not because it was fun, but because surviving it became part of an identity. Anyone can beat an easy dungeon, but the Water Temple, that thing built character, patience, resilience, the ability to keep playing a game while questioning every life decision that led you to that point. The Water Temple wasn't a dungeon, it was mandatory therapy. And when Nintendo remakes it, the Zelda boomers are going to become absolutely insufferable. For years, Zelda boomers have been hearing, "You're blinded by nostalgia, it's outdated. You only like it because you played it as a kid." The remake would finally be their chance to say, "Fine, go play it yourself." But honestly, a lot of younger fans would probably get it. Not all of them, but enough. Enough to finally understand why a bunch of middle-aged gamers have spent 3 decades acting like Ocarina of Time was handed down from Headlands on a stone tablet. Because once you strip away the graphics, once you strip away nostalgia, once you strip away the N64 controller that looked like alien technology, what's left? Well, a ridiculously well-designed adventure. And that's why Zelda boomers keep asking year after year, direct after direct, rumor after rumor. Cloud makeup application after cloud makeup application. And now it's finally here. And Zelda boomers are going to spend the next 6 months after release saying, "I told you so." All right, any guys, I hope you guys enjoyed that piece. That was my first scripted content that's returning. This is kind of how I feel about Ocarina of Time, right? This game is for us. This game is for the old heads that, played the game back in the day and are fans of the traditional Zelda style. I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers for the end of the summer, so please, if you enjoyed this content, hit that subscribe button. It would greatly help me. I appreciate all of you guys, all the new fans that have been coming onto the channel. Thank you. As always, I've got much more Zelda content to come, so be on the lookout for it. Anyways, that's all I have to say. Until the next video. Thanks. Bye.